Hello everyone, my name is Elisa Baum and I'm Percona's Director of Product Marketing. We'll begin in just a moment, but first I'd like to conduct a bit of housekeeping. Please raise your hand if you would, using the hand icon located in the GoToWebinar control panel to let me know if you can hear me. And let's see here. Great, I see some hands. Thank you very much everyone. Next, during this webinar you will be on mute. Should you have any questions during the discussion, please enter them in the questions field within the control panel. At the end of the webinar, we'll take time to answer as many questions as possible. Questions that are most relevant to the topic we're discussing today will be answered first. Those that aren't addressed will be answered in a follow-up blog post entry on Percona's MySQL performance blog. In addition, a recording of this webinar will be made available to everyone within 48 hours. With that said, I'd like to thank you for attending today's webinar, Monitoring All, Yes All, MySQL Metrics and with Percona Cloud Tools, and it's presented today by Percona CEO and co-founder Vadim Tkachenko. And with that said, I'll turn the floor over to Vadim. Go ahead, Vadim.
Hi, Alicia. Do you hear me?
I hear you great.
Yeah, thank you for a promotion, but I'm still a CTO, not CEO anyway. But thank you for introduction, and thank you everybody who decided to join me today. I know it is a Google I/O keynote, and I know it is the second half of World Cup games. But if you choose to be with me today, thank you very much for your attention and attending my webinar. So today I would like to talk about metrics monitoring. So I would like to show how easy it is to install and set up our agent, and I also would like to show you what we provide, what kind of graph and the capabilities we provide to work with MySQL metrics. I would like to point this webinar is second in a series of Percona Cloud Tools. First one was back in February, and it was analyze MySQL query performance with Percona Cloud Tools. So if you did not see that one, I suggest you check my first webinar, of course, after this one. And why in my previous webinar I highlighted that queries is a kind of a minimal work in a task for a database, and it is very important to understand and see queries what's running in your database. So why now we're speaking about metrics monitoring? Metrics, even we understand and even we diagnose what is the most important and most problematic query in a database. It is still very important to understand what's going on internal of your server or your MySQL instance. A query can be slow by a bunch of different reasons. It may be an I/O problem, and maybe a CPU saturation, or maybe a network bottleneck, or maybe some MySQL internal subsystem does not perform quite well. So that's why looking on queries at the same time we need to see internal metrics of MySQL and the operation system. And the traditional way to do it, like to run VM start, IO start commands, maybe MySQL admin command to show metrics. Well, if you can try to look on my system, this looks like what it is. Like if you run VM state, we see a bunch of numbers. It is quite useful. At least it's very useful for me. Well, right now the system is idle. We see 100% 100% of idle CPU, but when there is some workload, we see a bunch of different numbers, and it helps. It actually really helps to understand your system. Okay. But what about if you want to look back into history, or if you want to look on some graphical charts? So of course there should be a better way to do it than to run just command line tools and look on bunch of numbers, even if I like numbers a lot. And in Percona, before we looked into that, and we actually provide some solution for charting in the history. And we have monitoring plugins for cacti graphing, and recently we released the monitoring solution for Zabbix, where you can install our plugins and see MySQL related metrics on these charts. And but I still myself I still find it find a lot of limitation in this solution. For example, even if you're looking in a cacti graph, we see some low resolution data, and you cannot quite see, for example, what number was like at 9 p.m. last day. Was it like 150,000 rows read it at that time, or what exact number was it? And the cacti installation is still kind of involving process, even if we try to make it as simple as possible. What I found for myself, quite often I prefer just again to run VM start or IO start, then go and install our plugins, and we have to have a dedicated server and still a manual process to install all these charts. So, and there still must be a better way to do it. So that's why when we started to look how we can show metrics in Percona Cloud Tools, I came up with a list of requirements I would like to see. So first was a very easy way to install. I would like to see high resolution data when we collect data. It's a resolution should be on a second level, not 2 minutes. I believe 2 minutes resolution, which we see in cacti, is way not enough to properly diagnose workload. I would like to see real-time updates, pretty much the same when we run VM start. We see numbers updated immediately. The same I would like to see with charts. The charts updated as we receive data. And of course, we should have a way to look into past. And what I also wanted, I want to gather all metrics, really all available metrics for MySQL, because you never know what kind of problem you will face. Because if I would know what problem I'm going to face, I would fix that problem before. So when we see some unusual behavior on the server, it's really helpful to be able to see from all kind of angles, and that's why we need to collect. I want to collect all meaningful metrics to be able to diagnose a problem when it happens. Right, so that's why we implemented a metrics monitor in Percona Cloud Tools. And to use these tools, you need to have an account on cloudpercona.com, and you need to download our agent. And right now, I'm going to show you a live demo how to install this agent. And we all know that live demo always fails. So if something goes wrong, maybe network hiccup or my browser crashes, I will cancel live demo and will continue with my presentation. Okay. So let me try to do that. So first we need to download Percona-agent. The most recent release of Percona-agent is 1.0.3. And I'm going to install it on my demo Amazon instance. So we download this agent, unpack it, and one of steps we will need to have API key. So like I said, you need to register on cloudpercona.com, and I prepared my demonstration user. And when we go into configure section, you can see API key available to you. So what we do, we copy API key to keyboard, we run install command. And the install command asks that API key, which we copy paste. And the agent, installation script will ask you to create a MySQL user the agent will use to collect data. So yes, we want to create a dedicated MySQL account to be used to collect data, and the agent wants to connect to MySQL to create that user. So that's what we're going to do. And we see that all went okay, and now we created an agent registered on the Percona Cloud Tools. And actually we can go and check it right now. You see, we immediately see the agent, and it's already working and started to collect data. So if we check processes, we see Percona agent already running on the system. And next step, I would like to adjust some MySQL configuration. I would like to collect all queries. More details about this configuration available in my previous webinar, so I just applied configuration for MySQL. And actually I would like to run right now some workload. A workload I use is a link bench workload from Facebook. So right now we go and generate some load on this demo account. Meantime, I wanted to show you how to create another instance for this agent. How to create another instance, how to monitor MySQL. So we have agent running on one server, and on this server we monitor MySQL instance. But what if you want to monitor a remote instance? For example, what if this Amazon RDS? So we added features to be able to monitor a remote MySQL, and this is available from this screen. We just go and add a new instance, and we just need to specify additional information like username and password to connect to that instance. And don't worry, I'm going to delete this instance just right after webinar, so don't try to connect it. Okay, now we specified all parameters to connect. We can test this connection. Connection was successful. We save it. Okay, all right. And now we can enable monitoring of MySQL metrics. And now this agent will monitor metrics on a remote Amazon RDS server. So while workload is still running, we actually now can go and try to see already updated data. So yes, we see already data from this agent available on charts, and we can see already CPU utilization and MySQL throughput, which this agent provides. So while workload is still running, I would like to get back to my presentation. Okay, that's not this one. And to explain a little more why we looking into this metrics monitor. My goal with implementing this feature in Percona Cloud tools was to make MySQL DBAs or MySQL users more efficient. I know there's some tendency to provide tools to monitor thousands of servers or to be able to automatically handle of 1,000 installation, but actually speaking and working with users, typical MySQL installation is just a couple of servers. And while there's still increasing workload on DBAs working with these servers, I would like to make DBAs more efficient by providing a full overview of the system to DBAs. So DBAs can look inside the system, look on all available metrics, and make educated based on data, not some random finger point in sky decision. And I believe this setup will be useful even if you have a couple of servers, but being able to see clearly what's going on inside your server will make you more efficient working with your system. And yeah, probably jumped ahead a little. So there I explain what kind of demo installation I use. So for my live demo, I use Amazon instances. I use one Amazon large instance running Percona server, 5.6 running Percona-agent, and for workload I run Linkbench benchmark. And for a remote MySQL installation, I use Amazon RDS 5.6 instance. And let me speak a little about Percona-agent. I would like to explain some details how it works, so you also understand more about this tool. So our Percona-agent is an open source project. You can go and check all our source code and check what we're doing, that we're not trying to hide anything from you, especially if this agent is running on your server. And for communication, I think we use quite a neat technology, which is a WebSocket technology. And the WebSocket technology, it is kind of a permanent connection between agent and our servers. And we utilize HTTPS, this absolutely encrypted connection, and we use 443 port, which should be firewall friendly. So we are not looking to use any special ports, and you don't need to make special rules in your firewall. If you are able to connect to HTTPS from your network, our agent will work. And using the WebSocket technology, we are able to utilize bidirectional real-time communication. That's how we are able to provide real-time data updates on charts. And if you're looking to use our agents through proxy, make sure the proxy is WebSocket friendly. I know that Nginx support it, but frankly, we did not test this configuration with Percona Cloud tools. That's probably work for future. And what kind of data we collect in Percona-agent? So, like I said, I want to collect all metrics, well, as much metrics as possible, let's put this way. So when we connect to MySQL, we collect all data from show global status. We collect all MySQL variables from show global variables. Well, variables represent more MySQL configuration, but I think it's also useful to be able to see on your configuration and also to have ability to track configuration changes in time. So that's what I'm looking for Percona Cloud tools to provide. We are able to monitor all MySQL metrics from MySQL 5.6 using information schema and a DB metrics table, which is disabled by default, but you can go into configuration panel and enable it. And we configure and we collect all system-related metrics like CPU, input output metrics, memory. But to be able to collect this data, agent has to run on a local machine. That means, for example, with Amazon RDS, we are not able to collect system metrics. We will collect only MySQL related metrics when we run Amazon RDS. And this little diagram, I tried to explain graphically how does it work. So again, MySQL Percona-agent running on local machine and connects to MySQL to get status and variables, and it reads operation system related metrics. It also analyzes MySQL slow log to provide information about queries. Again, I refer there to my first webinar, how to analyze MySQL queries for more details. And like I said, we are able to connect to a remote MySQL instance without need to run agent locally on that instance. And to connect to Percona Cloud, we use WebSocket HTTPS connection. Okay, and how do we collect data? So we collect different kind of data with different resolution. System metrics we collect every 10 seconds. MySQL status and DB related metrics we collect every 1 second. And MySQL variables we think it's a kind of slow changing parameters. We collect it only every hour. And but even we collect data every 1 second to send all this data over a network to Percona Cloud. That might be quite intensive load over your network. So what we do, we aggregate data locally and send only summary of data every 1 minute. And by summary of data, I mean the descriptive statistic like minimal value of collected data, maximal 5 percentile, 95 percentile, median and average values of collected data during last minute. And having the data, I believe it helps to represent and to understand workload and the load on server fully. So how we can see this in our charts? So we are able to see not only average metrics, say average MySQL queries per second, but we also will be able to see minimal and maximal of values of MySQL queries per second per given minute, and you can turn on off these values dynamically. So let me show this on chart. So we have this charts with live running workload. This workload I started 12 minutes ago, and you see all charts real-time updated, and we already able to see some metrics like CPU utilization or MySQL throughput. And like I said, we can see average, minimal, and maximal values of MySQL throughput per given minute. And like I promised, we can turn off and turn on different metrics to be able to see some specific metrics more detail. So right now I show average MySQL queries per second on. Okay. And now I would like to show you our default dashboard with all kinds of metrics we show by default, which I think summarize our experience working with MySQL. So what kind of information is most important to look when you're looking on your MySQL instance. And right now I'm going to switch to our actually production server. This production is a MySQL performance block server. So and I would like to show what kind of metrics you see looking on the default dashboard. So let's go chart by chart. So first one is CPU utilization. Like I said, we collect operation system CPU metrics, and we able to see user CPU, system CPU, CPU cycle spent on waiting on I/O, and a couple additional metrics. And like I said, I wanted to see data at some specific point of time. So, Arisha, do you see my screen? If I point to some specific point of time, I'm able to see specific data at that exact minute. For example, right now I show that at 9:47 this morning on the MySQL performance block server, we had about 12% user CPU utilization.
Hi, Vadim. Yes, I see it.
All right. Okay. Good. Next chart, we're able to see MySQL throughput. Again, we can go back to any point of hour and see like MySQL throughput was almost, well, at this point of time, it was over 1,000 queries per second, and 1010, this, like 18 minutes ago on this server. More charts and more metrics. So we show MySQL threads, and the data available is threads connected at this point of time, and the threads are running at given point of time. And I made this chart at a certain place because I think actually MySQL threads running is one of most important MySQL metrics, but it is often underrated. And what is important here? We often to see we often are looking how many threads are connected at a given point of time, but it's important to understand how many threads actually are running some work at a given point of time, and that's what metrics MySQL threads running represents. So looking on the threads running, we actually can see how busy is the system, and also we can use it for capacity planning and related tasks. On the next chart, MySQL connections, there we gather all data related to MySQL connection. Like we show maximal value of MySQL connections used. We show current MySQL connections, and we able to show MySQL variable what we specify in myCNF. This is MySQL max connections. You can see that on this server we have a parameter MySQL max connection equals to 500. And we can see historically for last hour we used only 200 connection. Well, I need to correct myself. Max used connection is not for last hours, but from the start, from the moment MySQL was restarted. So for this specific instance, from the moment of restart, MySQL had only 206 connection at max. Next charts are MySQL network that we can see MySQL input and output in bytes or megabytes per second, and we actually can see interesting pattern here that actually every 5 minutes, if you see on data points like 9:30, 40, then 9:45, 9:50, we see a spike in sent data. Actually, it gives me idea that we are probably running some cron job running every 5 minutes, and we collect some data and sends data somewhere. So we also show MySQL select types, and I think it is important because it shows it can show some possible performance issue. For example, like select scan. Select scan usually diagnose select without indexes or basically full table scan. So looking on our MySQL performance block server, we see that about 10, 12, 13 full table selects running full table scan are running. But comparing it to general throughput, like we showed before, that at peak time server is running 1,000 queries per second. Having a 10, 12 full table scan maybe not that bad, but I still would like, I still probably will go and see what's going on inside the server, why we have this full table scan queries running on MySQL performance block. Also interesting charts is MySQL metrics related to sort. When we run some selects with order by, group by, potentially it can be a performance problem. So we wanted to see how many rows per second MySQL processes to run this kind of queries. And another possible area for performance problem are temporary objects, especially if there's a temporary tables created on disk. So we are we are able to show this data. We can see how many MySQL temporary tables created per second and how many of them actually created on disks. So again, this is data from live MySQL performanceblog.com server, and we see that in average like 1 to 2.5 temporary tables on disk are created. Next charts are related to AnyDB. We show AnyDB I/O related metrics like how much data AnyDB writes per second, and also data related to AnyDB buffer pool, like what is AnyDB buffer pool size, how filled it is, and how many pages per second are changed in AnyDB. So especially like this graph, we are able to see this green green jump related that AnyDB changed. AnyDB changes pages. This green area show AnyDB dirty pages, and we can see a relation to whole amount of AnyDB pages in the system. And related metrics is AnyDB buffer pool activity. So we can see AnyDB reads and writes to buffer pool, and if you look into this specific point, which is related to point of time of AnyDB dirty pages, we see that at this specific time, AnyDB performed more buffer pool write request than usually. And a couple more charts like AnyDB row operations. We can see how many rows per second AnyDB reads, inserts, updates, and deletes. And looking on this specific graph, we can get an understanding that our system, MySQL performance block, mostly performs reads. You can see that the system reads up to 10-15,000 rows per second, while updates only small portion of that. Next graph is system load average. We can monitor load average on the system, and a couple more system related charts like processes, current count of current processes in the system, and current amount of running processes, disk I/O operation, and current memory utilization on the system. Okay. That's we had predefined charts, but we also have ability to add a new chart. Like I said, we gather, we collect all kind of MySQL metrics, and if some metrics are not available on charts, you should be able to go and add that metric by yourself. So let me try to show it again. This is my demo account on Amazon EC2 instance. So let's see, and let's go and try to add additional chart, say webinar demo chart, and let's say we want to see AnyDB locking related metrics. So let's see AnyDB shared logs and AnyDB exclusive logs contention. So we created this graph, and this graph now is available on our dashboard, and we can see this in DB contention related metrics. Also, real-time updated, and we can see it back into history as we need it. It's like I said, we want to examine history back to many days as possible. So let me show you another example from our production system. Now, again, let's use MySQL performance block server as an example. And we have predefined the time ranges. By default, I showed you 1 hour time range, but we can switch and show 1 day data. And again, we can go to back to any point of time. To a specific hour at a given date, and to be able to see the data, or we can switch to 1 week time range, and we can see how the system performed during week, or to work with even bigger time periods, we can switch to 1 month. Okay, it probably will take a few seconds for the system to pull up data. Okay, it's working. And we can see all the same information, but for a given month. And again, we can go back to any specific day, like to about months ago, to May 28th, and see how system performed at that given date. And we can see, we can find peak times and peak throughput for MySQL. And for example, in this case, we can see that biggest average throughput for MySQL performance block was on June 16 at 5 o'clock time range. Okay, let me try to find. I think my presentation got closed by some reason. 1 second. So, Alicia, do you see my presentation now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so actually I'm getting to the end of my webinar, and I would like to try to summarize what I said. So with the Percona Cloud Tools and with Metrics Monitor module, you should be able to gain insight in your system and to understand your system from all kind of different angles. And I find it's kind of must-have if you operate and manage MySQL servers. We provide very easy installation. I think it took even less than 3 seconds to install agent, even less than 3 minutes to install agent and to see data in our system. And we provide information with trends and history to be able to execute tasks like capacity planning, or to be able to diagnose performance issues back to some specific day. And right now, Percona Cloud Tools, we still have beta status. We still have some bugs to fix. You can register and try the system right now, right immediately. And we're going to provide free level free level forever, so you can use system for your needs as long as you want. And like I said, you can go and try it right now. There, I would like to show and to share some ideas we have about the future of Percona Cloud tools and monitoring. So we are looking to provide even easier in the simpler installation, like to provide RPM, Debian packages, and maybe to make agent puppet friendly, like installation with no question asked at all. We're looking to provide query analysis from a performance schema from MySQL 5.6, especially it will be useful for Amazon RDS instances. We are working to provide multiple dashboards. Right now we have only one predefined dashboard where you can add your charts, but we're looking to provide several dashboards which will help you to see a system from different angles. Then we are working on some more sophisticated query advices when we are working and looking on queries automatically to provide advice like, oh, this query analyzes too many rows, maybe it does not have proper index, and so on. And also I would like especially highlight that your feedback is extremely important and extremely valuable for us. So you actually can share and tell us what you would like to see implemented, and I personally taking it into consideration, so what kind of next feature will be implemented in Percona Cloud Tools. And Alicia, I think that's all what I had for today. I'm ready to answer on questions if you have any.
Yes, there are questions. And audience, if you do have questions for Vadim, please go ahead and enter them in the GoToWebinar control panel in the questions window. So Vadim, the first question is there any plan on providing Percona Cloud Tools as self-hosted?
Oh yeah, yes, probably questions I always receive, and there's a big interest to this. Yes, I can tell you, and again, this is based on user feedback, and like I said, we have this question a lot. So users and customers, they want to have self-hosted implementation. So we take it into a roadmap, and we're going to provide a self-hosted implementation. I don't promise any specific time frame, but say more or less by end of year we're looking to have some version which will support it.
Okay, the next question is, does the history support the ability to capture the actual SQL that is running when the sample is taken?
I'm not sure. I'm not fully understand the question, but let me maybe try to show live demo. So again, this installation is Amazon instance where we run Percona, where we run link benchmark. So we can go into queries profile, and we can see actually queries related to this time frame. So not even we see metrics related to benchmark. We actually can see what kind of queries and how long it took to run in this specific benchmark. And if we choose some specific query, we can see query example, what kind of queries was executed during this time. I'm not sure if that's a full answer on a question you asked, but that's how I got it.
Okay. This question is, let's see, what types of servers are or will be supported in the future? MySQL, Percona, MariaDB, or just Percona Server and Percona ExtraDB cluster?
Well, we already support all kind of flavors. We support MySQL 5.5, 5.6 Percona Server, 5.5, 5.6, and MariaDB. I don't see a reason. Well, I can tell you that we personally did not test it with MariaDB, but I don't see a reason why it will not work with MariaDB, because we basically execute show global status command, which is compatible with all kind of MySQL variants. And we're not going to make any artificial limitation that say our system works only with Percona server and it does not work with MariaDB. So if your system supports commands we're running, and right now it is very simple commands like show global status, that system will be supported.
Okay. Next question is, do you have to enable slow log general query log to use the tool?
For query analytics part, right now it works with slow logs, and the system enables slow logs itself. So you don't need to go and specifically enable it. If you enable query analytics, let me try to show you this in configuration panel. So you see query analytics is enabled, and if you enable it, it will enable slow query log. We don't require a general log. And like I mentioned, right now we are working with the performance schema. We are looking to analyze queries from performance schema 5.6. That in this case we will not need to enable slow log to analyze queries.
Okay. Next question, is it one agent per machine or one agent per instance? And he says, in the case where you have multiple instances on one machine.
So, like in this example, one agent can handle multiple instances, and if you run multiple instances on the same machine, you basically will need only one agent, and for one agent you can add as many instances as you need. Like again, like I show on the screen, you can go and add one additional MySQL instance running on the same machine and handled by the same agent.
Okay, next question. Does this have the ability to alert on metrics that are out of tolerance? Can the user define what's in and out of tolerance?
No. Simple answer right now is no. We do not provide any alerting capabilities. We have it in some further roadmap. It is not in our near term, but I would say it's some medium term roadmap where we will provide some alerting and threshold capabilities to inform users when some metrics are running out of expected values.
Okay, and I think you covered this in your last slide, but the question is about RDS. How can you collect SQL queries info for RDS MySQL database instances? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so for Amazon RDS, like I said, we are looking to collect queries from performance schema, and it will require Amazon RDS 5.6 variant. So MySQL 5.6 actually provides a lot of data in performance schema, and that data includes queries. So what we are going to do, we're going to enable collecting queries in a MySQL performance schema, and it will support Amazon RDS, and again only 5.6 variant, not 5.5 or earlier.
Okay. There's one more question here. Again, audience, if you have any more, just go ahead and type them in. This person's asking if you can describe how this compares to Vivid Cortex in terms of benefits. Vivid Cortex?
Well, I actually think Vivid Cortex is about different goals and features. And to be honest, I'm not that much familiar with what Vivid Cortex provides. We implement this system using our knowledge and our expertise in MySQL area, that we're looking to provide like I said, best and full comprehensive insight into your system, that you understand how your system works, that you to be more efficient working with MySQL installations. And sorry, I don't know what kind of goals and features Vivid Cortex provides in this area. I just don't.
Okay, and then the last question that I have today is, will there be a recording of this webinar? And the answer is yes. I will make sure that everybody who is registered will get a copy of the recording as well as links to the slides. So just wanted to let people know that that is going to happen. Okay, well, Vadim, it looks like that's all the questions we have for today.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you so much for your time today. And audience, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you in future webinars, and have a wonderful day, evening, or morning, depending on where you're calling in from. Take care, everybody.